Okay, welcome everyone to our latest webinar. We are so happy that you're here and we are really excited to talk to you about our topic. Just as an introduction, my name is Caitlin Johnson. I'm a junior here at UVU and I'm studying nursing and I like to crochet. So I'm all set to be a grandma. Let's see what else. We just want to really quick remind you that we have tons of webinars coming up and they're going to be super exciting. The next one is going to be especially exciting, all about leadership and scholarships. So yeah, if you're listening, stay tuned for the next one too. And then we're going to pass it off to my friend. And she's turning on her mic right now.
Is it showing me in the live event section or just the queue? It is in the live event? Okay, my computer's not showing. Okay, sweet. Hi everyone, my name's Sadie. I always have technical difficulties on this program, but I'm a senior at UVU. I'm studying art and design and marketing. And today we're going to do a housing webinar. So all of the questions that you have about housing, how to apply to housing, what housing options UVU offers, and some scholarships that you can get to help out with housing. They're called RCL scholarships, and we'll talk about them a little bit later in the webinar. And as always, we have a live event Q&A in the corner, so you can ask questions on the chat and we will answer them if you can think of any that you have while we're going through. And so we're gonna start the webinar. We're really excited that you guys are here.
Okay, Sadie, can you see the screen? Oh, we're on the wrong slide. 1 second. Okay. So this, as Sadie was mentioning, this week's webinar is about housing options at UVU. This is a very important aspect because this is where you'll spend all your time when you're not at school. And with COVID, you're never at school. So this is like, you know, super important where you live. Just to start out, we have a housing website where you can get all your information, and that's where we got this information from. That's got amazing resources, such as like a housing booklet. There's programs like the RCLs, which we'll talk about later, and then frequently asked questions that most students have about finding housing. And then Sadie will talk to you about this next slide.
Okay, so at UVU, we have a couple different options for students. All of our housing is off campus, and UVU does that so that we can keep tuition costs lower, because when you have on-campus housing, it ramps up your tuition costs because the college is taking care of that. But by having off-campus housing, we're trying to give you cheaper options. So we have apartments and condos, we have student housing, or you could live at home. So those are a couple different options. We're going to kind of go through and talk about each one of those today.
There are so many benefits for living in student housing, and that's why we have a specific program just dedicated to finding it. For us personally, we decided that it's a great way to make friends. It's super close to campus, and there's more activities to get involved with. Personally, from my experience living, in the student housing, it's given me so many friendships, and that college experience that has meant so much to me. And I'm still having it, and it is super duper fun.
Okay, so a big question, when should you start looking for student housing? Most contracts begin in January, so you should start looking soon. Whatever time you're going into school, if you start in fall, you should be looking for housing in the summer. If you're starting in January, then you should be looking for them around now. So contracts can go up at any time. You should be checking Facebook, social media, different websites. There's always students moving in and out. And just be looking. If you know you're coming to school, you should start looking at housing as soon as possible, because you never know when something might open up. You never know how hard it will be to find housing.
Yeah, I'm just adding on to that. Like, it really is pretty in advance. So if you are a soon-to-be freshman, we would recommend looking into it right away. But so right now we're just going to look at some of like the popular student housing that is available at UVU. And so we'll list like 10 or so of them, and they are all super cool. And there's so many more than this, but these are just what we decided to focus on. The first one we want to talk about is called Village on the Parkway. I think that's a super fun name, and it's got a super fun place as well. One of my favorite features about Village on the Parkway is that they have their own bus. Like, I don't know how they managed to do that, but like they have a bus that takes them to school. And like you see them getting off the bus and you're like, wow, I just want to be those kids that get their own bus. But it's free, and you don't have to worry about getting, to and from campus. They also have sand volleyball courts. Not a lot of housing facilities have this. So if you're a volleyball player, this is a great way to socialize and make more friends. And it is one of the only complexes with an 8-month contract, which is nice if you don't want to stay there like year round. And look at all those restaurants. Oh my heck. That's yummy.
Okay, this one's called the Riviera. It's located in Provo, Utah, so it's a little bit farther away from campus. They just barely have a new clubhouse, and they have renovated units. So it just depends on, UVU is a big commuter school, so it just depends on how close you want to be living. There's pros and cons to living in Provo versus Orem. So you just kind of need to decide what fits best for you and where you would like to live.
Yeah, and here at UVU, we don't have issues with neighboring schools like BYU. We actually like to be their friends, and the Riviera is a great place to do that. Promenade Place. This, I just like the name of it. It just sounds fancy, and that's because it is fancy. But Promenade Place is geared specifically towards UVU students, so it's super close to it, and all the activities are centered around what happens there. It's private student housing, so you're gonna have lots of private bedrooms, which let me tell you is super duper nice. There's a large living room area, so you'll be able to have lots of fun parties, especially when COVID is over, and high-speed internet. And I think we all understand how important Wi-Fi is in this Gen Z culture.
Okay, this one is called The Green. It's on Campus Drive. It's literally right on the corner of campus, brand new as of this year. So it's one of the closest complexes. It's walking distance to class, and when we say walking distance, it really is walking distance. I always see kids walking from here when I'm driving home and I think, oh, it would be nice to be able to just walk to campus. But it's really nice because they're brand new of this year, and that's a really great option for you if you want to be really close to campus.
Wolverine Crossing. I don't know why, but this place has so much hype. Like, they just are known as like the party place, and that's super fun. Like, I wish I lived there for a year, because I think that you have fun experiences there. You want to know why they have fun experiences? It's because they have pools, hot tubs, fitness centers. They've got super nice flooring and granite countertops, and if that isn't important to you now, I'm sure it will be in the next 4 years. Private bathrooms, let me tell you, that is incredible. So incredible. You don't have to share your hand soap or toilet paper. Smart TVs, so that'll be super fun. And natural lighting.
Okay, this one is Alpine Village. It has 24-hour emergency maintenance, which is awesome. It has underground parking, 24-hour fitness center, and they have a neat courtyard and basketball court. So if those are things that you're looking for in an apartment complex, this is where it's at. It's really nice that their fitness center is 24 hours because as college students, we're up at the most random times of the day. So if you're trying to get in your workout, then that's a super great option for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is right next to Taco Bell too. So that's pretty fun. I don't know why I had to mention that, but I don't know. I like where restaurants are. Carriage Cove. This is close to where I live. There are large and private affordable rooms. I think the key here is that it is affordable. There are, you're going to look at prices and be like, how can I do this? But it's totally possible. An outdoor pool and a hot tub. Again, affordable private suites and furnished living rooms. So you don't have to worry about carrying all your stuff that you accumulate, like couches and beds, because it's just there for you. It's there for you.
Okay, this apartment complex is called the Branbury, and we were talking about earlier that we like to mingle with the students of BYU, and this is a great place where there are both BYU students and UVU students, so you kind of can get a mix of both. There's excellent customer service, and it's in the middle area between Provo and Orem, so if you are kind of wanting to stay in that area and be close to Orem and Provo, then this is a great option for you.
University Towers. Look at that. First thing, 6-minute walk to the heart of campus. I would have people in my class that lived here, and they'd be like, sorry, I was just coming from school, and I'm like, or from my home. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, I gotta drive 30 minutes. But, I feel like that's a really, really nice amenity. Also, another great amenity is that they have flat screen TVs and new carpet. Like, what the heck? I want a flat screen TV. And they offer pillow top mattresses. I had to do research on this because I was confused, but it's literally like you have the mattress and then pillows like sewn into it. So it's like the softest mattress ever. Like, I don't know why other student housing doesn't do this because that's just incredible.
Okay, this one is called the Summerwood. It was recently renovated as well. It's pretty close to campus, and it has a fun clubhouse with amenities. So it shows you, a barbecue right here, and I'm sure there's a pool. And it's really close to campus as well. So you could walk to campus, which is always really nice.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure at this part, we're going to have some other ambassadors introduce themselves and talk about important things to know about student housing. Is that right, Sadie?
Yes.
Perfect.
So we just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a background on, when you're looking for student housing, that's kind of a scary thing. It's something you've never really done before. So we just wanted to kind of give you some tips from other ambassadors and from what their experience has been about, finding good contracts, looking at the options of private or shared rooms, just all of these questions that you may have or may need to know about housing. So we're going to go into it, and I think we're going to send Edward live first. So he's going to talk to you a little bit.
Sorry, I was holding down the space bar. My bad. Technology is not my best suit, but we're all learning here in COVID. My name's Edward. A lot of people call me Eddie. I'm in my first year at UVU, and I've loved it so far. I'm so excited. This is my first semester as an ambassador, and so a lot of really good things here at UVU. I love what we've talked about so far with housing. I really want to just kind of focus on some of these general questions that we have, because when I moved down here from Salt Lake County, I was really, really worried about what I wanted to do, where I wanted to live. But my first semester, I was able to find some roommates from my high school, and we were able to move into an apartment. And that process can be kind of scary. I'm sure a lot of you are feeling that anxiety, but there's nothing to worry about. There's a lot of great housing down here at UVU. My first piece of advice I'd say is really make sure that you're not only are you checking out every option that you can, but make sure you're price checking, looking into what you want, what you're willing to pay for, and what you're not. We had a couple places that we were looking at, and some of them had some really great amenities, washers in the apartment, good gyms, pools, and all sorts of fun things. And we just weighed that out and we picked the right one for us. Every place has different things, and so some are better than others, and some have great things. So if you want a bus that takes you to campus, or you want to live close enough you can walk, those are great things, and there's tons of options. Make sure, my second piece of advice, make sure you have what you want for roommates. If you want your own room, you can have a private room. If you want to have roommates that are random, you can make sure you can get experience with different people. That's definitely an option, or you can bring in your roommates. Just make sure you check into that when you're looking into housing. Some, like they mentioned earlier, some contracts are up to 8 months, some are up to a year. It just depends on the place, and look what you're really wanting to get out of that. My contract started a month before I went down to school, and so that's something you might have to look into as well. It ended a couple months after school too in the summer, so you just got to make sure you're looking into when your dates are. So that's something to be important. And my last piece of advice is just, if you're looking into housing, remember that UVU is allowed to house in places that are for BYU students as well. And so some places you have to follow the BYU honor code and some you don't. And so it's really up to your preference what you want to do. And both are great. Just different places have different guidelines for sure. But super excited for you guys. There's a lot of great housing options here at UVU. And so we're looking forward to your experiences down at school and the houses you choose to live in.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We're going to hear from Ashley next.
All right, hi guys, I'm Ashley. This is my first year here at UVU. I'm from St. George and I love it here. This is my first year as an ambassador as well, and I'm going into nursing. And so, like Edward was saying, he was talking a lot about housing, and some questions that a lot of people have about housing is the question of roommates, because everyone always has that worry of, oh man, am I going to be with good roommates, bad roommates? But honestly, roommates are so much fun. And the nice thing about UVU having off-campus housing is that if you have a friend who's going to BYU, but you're at UVU, you guys can actually live together. So that's really nice. So just some tips about that is, if you have any friends, talk to them about moving in. A lot of places are really good about helping you to be able to make sure that you're living with someone that you're comfortable with. A lot of apartments actually will have surveys that you can take, so it'll just tell you about your interests or your personality type, and they'll match you with other people who are a lot like you. Because when I came up here, I didn't have any that I could live with. All my friends were already up here. They already had their contracts, and I decided too late in the game that I was coming up. So I had to just sign up for an apartment and move where I could. And so my big question was, oh man, am I going to be stuck with bad roommates? Am I going to get good roommates? But honestly, the whole roommate dealio is what you make it. Because something that I've learned is that you can get along with anyone. And so something that has helped me a lot with roommates is just spending time with them, get to know what they're interested in, what you're interested in, and find the common ground. And just to be able to put yourself in their shoes, if you guys are ever having an argument, just take a step back, put yourself in their shoes and just kind of look at it at that approach. And having roommates is awesome because you have like 4 to 6 best friends all the time. And you guys can just hang out all the time when you're not at school. You can help each other with homework. And roommates are really the best if you just take the time to get to know them.
Yes, that's so true. The roommate experience is what you make it. So yeah, just remember that we're all you, and we're just trying to help you with the same questions that we had when we started coming. We're just here to help you understand a little bit more about what you need so that you can make the best experience of your first year at UVU. So just make sure, my advice would be to make sure that you're checking your contract. Some apartments have you share utilities, so you split the utility bill. Some apartments just bill you for the utilities. It just depends on what's going on. So just make sure you check your contract and you're okay with what you're going to be paying and how you're going to be paying it. That's what my advice would be. Kaylin, do you have any advice?
Honestly, either move out or get involved, because that's how you're going to have the funnest time in college, is to either move out and make friends or get involved and make friends, because you don't want to go to college for school. That's lame. Go to college to go to college. That's good advice, right? Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide, okay?
Perfect. Okay, so we're going to introduce our friend Jonathan here. He's going to be talking about what an RCL is, and because he is one. So he's going to share a little bit about his experience and how you can become an RCL as well.
Sweet. So like she said, my name is Jonathan. I'm currently a senior here at UVU, and I'm studying marketing and business management. Like she said, I'm currently a residential community leader, which for short we just call RCL, and this is my second year of doing that. And so what RCLs do is we create engaging events and activities that encourage student involvement in social, educational, service, leadership, and recreational opportunities to establish a true campus life experience. So what I do as an RCL each month is I'm assigned to a specific living complex that UVU has partnered with. So I'm at the Green. I think we mentioned that complex earlier tonight. And so we plan 2 events every single month that's catered to, helping residents have a good time, meet each other, and socialize. But we also connect students with campus resources to help them make the most of their education at UVU and get a sense of what opportunities they have for leadership involvement and other resources that can help them with their academics as well. So one benefit of knowing about the RCL program now is you guys, when you're looking for housing, you can try and find apartments in Orem, Provo area that have the RCL program. So we're currently partnered with, I think, 9 housing complexes. Most of them are in Orem, but there is one in Provo called Carriage Cove. So if you're wanting to live with friends from BYU, you can still live in BYU housing with them and still have the RCL program to connect you with, UVU's social experience. But beyond just, living at a complex that has the RCL program where you can participate in their events, you can also apply to become an RCL. And there are a lot of great benefits that come with that. So first, the first benefit is definitely the scholarship. And so if you get accepted into the RCL program, you get a full housing scholarship and a stipend for your utilities as well. So that's certainly been a big help for me, these past 2 years. And it's just another benefit of the RCL program. But beyond the scholarships, you also get a lot of great leadership experience. And I know I've definitely been way more involved at UVU and learned a lot more about UVU and really been able to make the most of my education because of this program. So it's definitely worth applying for. Applications for the spring waitlist, if you happen to be starting next semester, open this month on the 13th. But if you're starting next fall, applications open in February. So what I would recommend is just going to the uvu.edu/housing website, and there's a tab there for the RCL program, and you can apply through there. And you can also follow the housing, UVU Housing on Instagram, and they'll also post updates for how to apply for the program.
Thanks so much, Jonathan. We have actually included all of those links in the live event Q&A. So if you are wanting to go to the housing website, there's more information about how to be an RCL there, and that's on the chat. And we also, there's a video that the RCLs put together about different housing options and what that means. And so the video link is on the Q&A chat as well. So if you're more interested in any of those things, you can go to the chat and click on the links and it will take you right there.
Yeah, we are so grateful that you watched and were here with us during this webinar. We are big advocates for housing. We know what a great experience it can give you for college and how it can help you with your grades and social life. And we know this by experience, and it's something that you should definitely look into. If not this year, then the new year is coming up. If you have any questions, again, we'll be here for a little bit, so you just let us know. But if not, just stay tuned for the next one. We're so happy to be doing this with you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Bye, guys.
Bye.